Is Drake truly rap's king? Or is he the industry's perfectly polished product designed to dominate charts and culture? Today, we're going to be uncovering the truths, the myths, and the hidden facts about his rise, his influence, and his controversies. Some revelations will shock you. Others will make you question everything you thought you knew about the man behind the music.
If there's people who have regular jobs who are coming out in the rain, in the snow, spending their hard-earned money to buy tickets to come to your shows, you don't need this right here, I promise you. You already won.
Drake's career is nothing short of monumental. From his Toronto roots and early mixtapes to global superstardom, he has amassed countless awards, shattered streaming records, and influenced music and culture worldwide. Yet, his rise is polarizing. Fans celebrate his innovation and emotional honesty, while critics question his authenticity and accuse him of being a product of the industry.
I don't necessarily take well to, me sharing positive experiences with people, and then when things are heavy for them, almost having to sort of take I guess that's a little too specific. What I'm really trying to say is I feel like I'm not necessarily a part of the problem, and I experience a lot of guilt tripping in my life where people are like, no, this is your fault essentially, or and my intentions are pure, it's the same way even in music, people will be like, oh, you're a culture vulture, or people will describe the collaborative efforts that I've put forth and the artists that I've picked up and lifted up or shine a light on as me taking, they'll put a negative spin on it and try and tell me, that it's a self-serving thing or whatever. And I think I get really sensitive about that.
The truth about Drake lies somewhere in between. In this deep dive, we'll explore his talent, his controversies, his business moves, and his fan-driven influence, breaking down the facts, challenging the myths, and examining what really defines one of modern music's most debated figures. Chapter 1. The Rise of Drake. Real talent or industry product? Aubrey Drake Graham was born in Toronto in 1986, growing up in a diverse, culturally rich neighborhood that would later influence his music. His father, a drummer, exposed him to rhythm early, while his mother, a teacher and artist, encouraged his creativity. Drake's early life was a mix of suburban comfort and urban culture, giving him a unique perspective that would seep into his lyrics. His first taste of fame came on Degrassi, The Next Generation, where he played Jimmy Brooks, a basketball player whose storyline included tragedy and vulnerability. While acting offered him visibility, it also placed him in a complex position. Fans knew him as a teen actor, not a serious musician. Despite this, Drake used the platform strategically. He began sharing music online, balancing acting obligations with his passion for writing and recording. Toronto's local hip-hop scene became his testing ground, where he performed at small venues and released early tracks to build credibility. This combination of city influence, personal ambition, and early exposure to the entertainment industry laid the groundwork for Drake's later transformation. His upbringing shaped not only his sound, but also his persona, a blend of streetwise sensibility and polished charm that would later define him as one of the most versatile and recognizable figures in modern music. Drake's first mixtape, Room for Improvement, dropped in 2006 and revealed an artist experimenting with identity, flow, and style.
I do this for y'all, man. Malice, nigga. Don't worry about it. DVD is in the building. What's going on?
What's up, doggy? What are you saying, man?
Chilling. It's been a while.
Real,
back
man.
on camp. With the real DVD, the realest DVD in the city.
The real, man.
Everybody else in the room, but it's the truth.
Got a lot of big things going on, man.
Yeah, man.
So just hook up with Trey songs, man.
Just basically, made the VA connect. Same with the clips.
I get a lot of love out of DA. So just hit up Delonte. Shout out to Delonte and Trey's brother Finch, 804 boys. You know, we just went down to Atlanta, made it connect. Recorded at the house, you know, the trap house, and just, you know, did the thing, man. It came out great. Trey's got this new album coming out with some big features, man.
Though rough around the edges, it highlighted his willingness to blend rapping and singing, a trait that would later become his signature. He tackled themes of ambition, personal struggle, and the challenges of breaking into the industry. Fans appreciated the honesty, even if the production was modest. Comeback Season, released in 2007, showed growth. Drake refined his lyricism and delivery while collaborating with local Toronto producers. Tracks combined clever punchlines with emotional vulnerability, signaling that he was more than just a former actor dabbling in music. He began building an online following, using mixtapes as a tool to bypass traditional gatekeepers. The 2009 mixtape, So Far Gone, was a turning point. Songs like Best I Ever Had captured mainstream attention, blending melodic hooks with rap verses seamlessly. The mixtape demonstrated his ability to craft tracks that appealed to both hip-hop purists and mainstream listeners. These early works painted a picture of an artist willing to take creative risks while understanding the business side of music, laying the foundation for his eventual superstardom. Drake's rise has always been framed by the tension between innate talent and industry influence. Skeptics argued that his Degrassi fame provided him an unfair advantage, suggesting that he was a product of strategic marketing rather than pure skill.
Talking about?
Ash and I are a thing again?
Really?
Yeah, really.
Guess I'll have to ask her that when I take her out on Friday. Hey! Take it easy!
His early mixtapes were scrutinized for signs of professional packaging or premeditated appeal to mainstream audiences. However, supporters point to his distinctive voice, melodic versatility, and lyrical vulnerability as evidence of natural ability. Drake's approach combined the emotional depth of R&B with the rhythm and swagger of rap, creating a style that was innovative at the time. Unlike many manufactured artists, he wrote much of his material, crafting personal narratives that resonated with listeners worldwide. The truth likely lies in a balance. While the industry undeniably amplified his reach, Drake's early work indicates a genuine drive to hone his craft and connect with audiences authentically. His story challenges the black and white perception of talent versus promotion, showing that modern success often requires both inherent skill and strategic positioning within the music ecosystem. Drake's authenticity has been debated throughout his career. On one hand, his ability to switch seamlessly between rapping and singing, introspection and bravado demonstrates versatility uncommon among peers. Tracks often reveal personal struggles, romantic reflections, or social commentary, suggesting a level of sincerity in his artistry. His Toronto roots influence his cadence and lyricism, adding cultural texture to his music. On the other hand, industry insiders note that Drake's image and sound have been carefully curated. Collaborations with high-profile producers, strategic releases, and an awareness of streaming trends suggest a calculated approach. Critics argue that this level of precision can dilute the perception of so-called natural talent, positioning him as a product optimized for both commercial appeal and critical acclaim. Ultimately, Drake's authenticity may be defined less by pure spontaneity and more by controlled self-expression. His versatility, emotional accessibility, and consistent output suggest an artist who knows his strengths and uses them deliberately. Whether innate or polished, the result is an unmistakable style that resonates deeply with fans, proving that authenticity can coexist with strategic presentation. Early in his career, critics often dismissed Drake as a child actor turned rapper, questioning whether he had the credibility or grit to thrive in hip-hop. Some argued that his emotional openness and melodic style were at odds with traditional notions of toughness in rap. Critics also suggested that his success was engineered by industry connections rather than earned purely through talent. Despite skepticism, fans quickly rallied around Drake's unique voice and relatable storytelling. Mixtapes like So Far Gone were celebrated for blending raw emotion with catchy hooks, proving that listeners valued vulnerability alongside lyrical skill. Social media buzz and word of mouth helped Drake bypass some traditional criticism, allowing fans to champion him on his own terms. This divide between critics and audiences shaped Drake's trajectory. While some questioned his legitimacy, fan support validated his approach and encouraged continued experimentation. Over time, even early skeptics acknowledged his influence as Drake redefined what mainstream rap could sound like. His career demonstrates that public perception can diverge sharply from critical consensus, and that resonance with listeners often outweighs initial industry doubts. Chapter 2. The Features King. Collaborator or opportunist? Drake's career has been defined by high-profile collaborations that shaped his mainstream presence. Early features like Lil Wayne's Successful highlighted his lyrical ability and melodic versatility, while tracks with Nicki Minaj and Rihanna showcased his skill at blending seamlessly with female vocalists.
Slow. She was sitting down on that big butt, but I was still staring at the titties, though. Yeah, low key and maybe high.
These collaborations were not one-off moments. Drake has maintained a consistent presence on tracks with top artists, often becoming a hook or defining verse that dominates charts. Working with a diverse roster allowed him to expand his sound and audience. Hits like Take Care with Rihanna and Moment for Life with Nicki Minaj introduced him to pop and international markets, solidifying his brand beyond traditional hip-hop. His ability to adapt to different styles and artists demonstrated an awareness of both music trends and audience tastes. Critics argue that his chart dominance relies heavily on features rather than solo performance, but his catalog suggests a deliberate strategy. Each collaboration enhances his visibility while showcasing his range. Rather than merely riding coattails, Drake has used these features to build a reputation as an artist who elevates every track he touches while maintaining a distinct personal identity. Skeptics often accuse Drake of leaning on collaborations to maintain chart dominance. His frequent appearance on other artists' singles, combined with the mainstream appeal of pop-leaning features, have raised questions about his solo strength. Critics note that some of his biggest hits involve him sharing the spotlight, suggesting that industry mechanisms rather than raw talent may be driving his success. This critique is fueled by streaming-era metrics, where a single feature can catapult an artist into global recognition. Drake's ability to appear on multiple high-profile tracks simultaneously has led to perceptions of overexposure. Detractors argue that without his collaborative network, his chart performance might be less impressive, and some purists question whether he could achieve similar dominance independently. There is also the prevalent practice of buying streams that Drake has been accused of.
If you see an artist's Spotify profile with one song that has 1 million+ streams and the rest of them have the little less than 1,000 streams.
Stream farm.
Stream farm.
They bought streams from a stream farm. They're fake.
Spotify has technology to tell that these are fake streams, so they're not paying your distributor, who's in turn not paying you. So you're maybe just spending $500 for 1 million streams.
Oh, how'd you know that, Ben? You buying fake streams, Ben?
I Googled it before this fucking clip, Henry.
There are instances where a song could be on an editorial playlist or it could just go viral on TikTok, so it's not always the case.
But
the narrative paints Drake as a calculated participant in an industry system that rewards visibility and strategic partnerships. By appearing frequently on other artists' songs, he benefits from pre-existing fan bases while leveraging his adaptability to enhance tracks. While this strategy is effective commercially, it fuels the debate over whether his success stems from inherent musical talent or clever placement within the music industry's machinery. While some view Drake's features as opportunistic, a closer look reveals his adaptability and skill as an artist. He has a unique ability to match the tone, flow, and energy of the lead performer while imprinting his signature style. Tracks like Work with Rihanna And No Frauds with Nicki Minaj demonstrate that his contributions are often central to a song's success. Collaborations also serve as a testing ground for experimentation. Drake seamlessly navigates genres, blending rap, R&B, and pop without losing coherence or identity. His voice, melody, and delivery allow him to complement a wide variety of artists while retaining listener recognition. This versatility is not accidental. It reflects a deliberate cultivation of musical adaptability and commercial intuition. Now, beyond commercial considerations, his collaborations show artistry in interpretation. He adds emotional depth, clever wordplay, and memorable hooks that often elevate the track. Rather than diminishing his credibility, this strategy reinforces his skill. Drake's career demonstrates that successful collaboration requires both technical proficiency and emotional intelligence, traits that distinguish him from artists who rely solely on solo output. Drake's reputation has faced challenges, notably the Quentin Miller ghostwriting allegations. In 2015, Meek Mill publicly claimed that Drake did not write his own verses, sparking debate over authenticity.
There's a couple stories and they all like mesh in, but it's like, you know, it's like, it's weird. Like from what I ain't even gonna say that shit. It's that shit. We gonna say it, just don't put it up. Meek wanted the motherfucker to write for him.
Meek wanted Quentin Miller
to write for him.
To write
and Quentin
for
Miller
him.
wouldn't write for him. So they blew it up like this motherfucker write for Drake. You know what I mean? And that's how it really came out. And that's why Dream Chasers beat Quentin Miller up in LA and all that shit.
Wait, Quentin Miller got beat up?
Yeah, they ain't see yo about that shit. They beat Quentin Miller up in Foot Locker or some shit.
I've never heard this.
Yeah, that happened.
And
People was at me that worked in the Foot Locker when it was going on.
Okay, so Quentin Miller got beat up by the Dream Chasers.
Yeah.
Because
this is after all the everything.
After the everything. Well, why were they so mad at him? Why were they mad at him?
I don't know. That's what I don't know. That's why I be thinking sometimes that story might have been true about him wanting the boy to write for him, and you know what I mean?
Miller's contributions were reportedly significant, raising questions about Drake's creative independence. Critics seized on this as evidence that his rise may be engineered rather than entirely talent-driven. However, context matters. Many top artists rely on co-writers, and Drake has been transparent in collaborating with producers and lyricists to refine his work. The Meek Mill feud highlighted competitive tensions within the industry, often inflating perceptions of controversy.
Getting out the Uber, and we kind of caught each other, and then he sent his man. He was like, "Yo, come over here. Meek wants to talk to you." And I was just like, "I don't want to go in front of paparazzi. Like, I don't want to do that." And so, like, you know, they just followed me in the Nike store, yeah, and just popped off in the Nike store. So, but I mean, I'm not a street nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a suburban kid. I'm from Gwinnett County. Like, I'm not a violent person. So, like, I'm not out here to be the toughest nigga. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. That's like, punching me is like punching Frank Ocean or like punching I Love McConan, you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of points are you getting off of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I'm one of the most peaceful, like, nicest motherfuckers that you'll ever meet. Like, I'm not a street nigga, so like, you can have it. You can have the tough title. That doesn't do anything for me. Like,
so was Meek actually involved in the altercation himself, or was it just his people?
Like, man, he was definitely there. I definitely spoke with him. So, I mean, but I ain't called the cops off that shit. I ain't filed no reports off it. Like, I'm not. It is what it is. It's done. They got that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if that made them feel better, you know what I'm saying? Like, more power to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still out here. I'm still shopping at the Nike Town on Wilshire. I'm still shopping at the Nike Town at the Grove. I'm still doing me, like, doing my own thing. Like, I'm not about to let that stop me. You know, like, I shed blood over. That's what I said. Like, at the end of to turn 26 on Hey Thanks a Lot 3, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas really shed blood over this rap beef shit, and I ain't even asked to be a part of it, you know what I'm saying?
Listeners noted that despite alleged ghostwriting, Drake's delivery, vocal tone, and interpretive skill remained central to his success. This episode underscores the complexity of measuring authenticity in contemporary music. Drake's ability to transform written words into emotionally resonant performances demonstrates a distinct artistry that extends beyond penmanship. While ghostwriting claims generated criticism, his sustained chart success and fan loyalty indicate that skillful execution and adaptability are as valuable as sole authorship. Drake's feature-heavy career exemplifies the tension between raw talent and industry orchestration. On the one hand, he benefits from calculated collaborations, strategic releases, and media amplification. And on the other hand, his versatility, melodic intuition, and ability to connect emotionally with listeners point to genuine artistry. His trajectory shows that modern success rarely relies on a single factor. Industry mechanisms can amplify visibility and accelerate chart performance, but Drake's talent ensures that he is not merely a product of promotion. Features, ghostwriting collaborations, and strategic partnerships highlight his understanding of the business, while his vocal delivery, creative interpretation, and adaptability demonstrate skill that cannot be manufactured. In this sense, Drake embodies a hybrid model. He is an artist who navigates commercial realities without sacrificing musical identity, leveraging opportunities while showcasing authentic talent. The debate over opportunism versus skill may persist, but his body of work reveals an artist who thrives at the intersection of industry strategy and genuine musical innovation. Chapter 3: Controversies and Public Feuds. The Attacker. Drake's career has been shaped not just by music, but by high-profile rap feuds that drew public scrutiny. The 2015 conflict with Meek Mill is perhaps the most famous. Meek publicly accused Drake of using a ghostwriter, Quentin Miller, which called into question Drake's credibility as a lyricist. Drake responded with the track Back to Back, a pointed yet polished diss that became a cultural moment. Fans praised his wit, flow, and timing, while critics debated whether the feud was manufactured in order to boost publicity. Pusha T also became a central figure in Drake's public feuds. The back-and-forth exchanges between the two escalated into the story of Adidon, Pusha's scathing track revealing personal details about Drake's private life, including the existence of his son. This feud highlighted Drake's vulnerability and exposed him to criticism, but it also emphasized his ability to handle pressure in the public eye. Joe Budden, a longtime critic, frequently clashed with Drake over perceived inauthenticity. Budden often framed Drake as an industry-manufactured artist, questioning his street credibility and influence.
He has thrown his status in every artist's face.
That's true.
To say, I am in a different position.
Yeah.
The game is the game, and no, you are not. There is nobody that we've seen or that I can think of that has proved to ever be bigger than the system. And when you volunteer to play in that system,
in any field, by the way,
there are the same way you generated numbers, the same way you generated streams, there are expectations, quotas, and money being spent on you. You have been the proof of concept for their
matrix,
for where the game was with their. He's been the streaming baby.
Yeah,
he's been the proof of concept for Apple, Spotify, and the labels in terms of streaming.
Correct.
When the music business was in a disarray before streaming. So this dates back to the Napster fight to me. So don't ever think as proof of concept that it's all you.
Each of these feuds showcase Drake's dual role as both a lyrical competitor and a public figure navigating industry expectations. Other smaller feuds, including conflicts with Tory Lanez and Lil Wayne's camp, demonstrated how Drake's prominence invites scrutiny. While some disputes were likely exaggerated or strategically amplified, they contributed to his image as a polarizing figure capable of defending his artistic reputation. Collectively, these beefs illustrate the challenges of maintaining authenticity while operating at the center of hip-hop culture. Drake's feuds blur the line between reality and performance. With Meek Mill, critics argued that both artists used the feud strategically. While Mill's ghostwriting accusations raised legitimate questions, Drake's response with Back to Back revealed not only lyrical skill, but also the ability to turn controversy into cultural currency. The feud seemed part genuine grievance, part calculated publicity. Pusha T's diss tracks carried raw personal weight. The story of Adidon included details about Drake's private life that were previously unknown to the public. While Pusha's approach was direct and aggressive, it revealed tensions that existed behind the scenes rather than purely for spectacle. Drake's measured responses suggested a strategic balance between addressing personal attacks and maintaining control over his public image. Feuds with Joe Budden and other critics often revolved around perception rather than personal conflict. Budden repeatedly criticized Drake's authenticity and street credibility. While Drake rarely responded directly, the tension fueled online debates and fan discussions. Much of the public narrative appeared manufactured, amplified by media coverage and social media platforms.
I don't think they ever liked Drake.
They
never liked Drake. But the man done put so many people on. How many people don't? I mean, think about it. He too easy to hate on. Everything going right. Nigga tall, light skin, got curly hair. All the women love him. All his music good. Got a whole bunch of money. Ain't even from America. He too easy to hate. Then you got Kendrick Lamar. He grew up like us. He put his mama van on his album cover. He struggled for real. His daddy drunk asking for the dominoes.
Right.
He had to grow up in Compton. Nigga, it's rough out. Drake ain't had no struggle in his life.
No.
He was doing good in Canada. He was dancing with his white friend, Jewish uncle. They having bar mitzvahs, good investments. You feel me?
Yeah.
His mama family got that check. Kendrick going through it, bro.
Assessing right and wrong is complicated. Some conflicts stemmed from real disagreements, while others were clearly enhanced by marketing and fan engagement. The common thread is Drake's ability to navigate both genuine and manufactured controversies, transforming potential liabilities into moments that reinforce his visibility, musical prowess, and influence within the rap industry. Beyond the widely publicized feuds, Drake's career has several lesser-known conflicts and hidden responses that shaped his reputation. During the Meek Mill beef, Drake reportedly recorded multiple tracks in secrecy, some of which never officially released. These recordings circulated within industry circles, heightening anticipation for Back to Back and creating a sense of intrigue among fans. Pusha T's feud revealed that some of Drake's responses were preemptively planned. Behind-the-scenes sources indicated that Drake consulted close collaborators and producers to ensure that his rebuttals were strategically timed, maximizing impact. Other hidden tracks and freestyles were rumored to contain veiled references to rival artists, demonstrating Drake's subtle use of lyrical nuance to engage in conflict without overtly escalating tensions publicly. Even in feuds with Joe Budden and minor critics, Drake employed indirect strategies. Social media posts, strategic collaborations, and selective song drops acted as soft responses, signaling his position without explicit confrontation. Some tracks contain subliminal references that attentive listeners identified as subtle jabs. These lesser-known maneuvers highlight Drake's sophisticated approach to conflict. He does not merely react impulsively. He curates responses to maintain control, protect his brand, and influence the narrative. Hidden diss tracks and behind-the-scenes planning underscore his dual role as both a creative artist and a strategic player in hip-hop culture.
she left out on a cozy shit. Hey, I'm living every 24 like Kobe did. Shout out to the 6, RP to 8. Swear this shit is getting 8. I'm on 10 for the cake. Get a lot of love from 12, but I don't reciprocate.
The internet has amplified Drake's feuds, transforming music industry disputes into global conversations. Memes, Twitter commentary, and viral clips often reshaped how fans interpreted conflicts. During the Meek Mill feud, hashtags and reaction videos spread rapidly, turning back-to-back into a cultural phenomenon that transcended music. Memes distilled complex conflicts into humorous, digestible content that reinforced Drake's dominance. Twitter and Instagram provided platforms for fans and critics alike to weigh in. Public reactions often blurred the lines between entertainment and personal opinion. In some cases, fans sided with Drake, emphasizing his clever wordplay and resilience, while others criticized his perceived vulnerability during the Pusha T feud. These online discussions created a feedback loop, influencing mainstream media coverage and shaping public perception. The effect on Drake's image has been multifaceted. Feuds and the ensuing online reactions established him as a polarizing yet compelling figure in hip-hop. They highlighted his capacity to handle scrutiny while also showcasing the modern artist's reliance on digital platforms to engage audiences. Online reactions have become a crucial element in understanding Drake's persona, demonstrating that controversies extend beyond music and into the broader realm of cultural influence and digital presence. Chapter 4: Sexual Grooming, Pedophilia, and Public Accusations. One of the darkest accusations that Drake has faced came during his feud with Kendrick Lamar. In the tracks Not Like Us and Meet the Grams, Lamar directly accused him of being a sexual predator, grooming young people and engaging in inappropriate relationships with minors. He went even further by alleging that Drake's OVO sound label signed known sex offenders, painting a picture of an artist who not only participates in, but enables predatory behavior. These lines ignited heated debates among fans and critics, raising the stakes of their lyrical war far beyond the typical bounds of rap beef. Drake did not stay silent. In his track The Heart, Part 6, he responded to Lamar's claims by rejecting the accusations outright. He specifically referenced past rumors involving Millie Bobby Brown, rapping, "Only fucking with Whitneys, not Millie Bobby Browns. I'd never look twice at no teenager." He also suggested that Lamar's allegations were projections of Lamar's own personal issues, turning the accusations back on his rival. By framing Lamar's lyrics as baseless and deeply personal attacks, Drake attempted to reassert control over the narrative. The feud also spilled into the legal arena. Drake filed a defamation lawsuit against his own label, Universal Music Group, or UMG, arguing that Not Like Us falsely painted him as a pedophile and endangered both his career and his family's safety. UMG responded by asking the court to dismiss the case, calling Lamar's lyrics, quote, rhetorical hyperbole that falls under free speech protections. The legal clash highlighted how damaging such accusations can be, regardless of whether they are proven in court or not. To this day, no verifiable evidence has surfaced confirming the most serious allegations against Drake. Much of what Lamar presented was framed through metaphor and rap bravado, blurring the line between artistic performance and factual claims. Rumors about minors and supposed secret children remain unsubstantiated, with Drake himself claiming that some of this information was deliberately planted within his own circle and leaked to his opponent. What is undeniable, however, is that the accusations left a permanent shadow on his public image. Chapter 5: What Kendrick Lamar Said in Their Beef, Key Claims and Personal Attacks. The Drake-Kendrick Lamar feud went far beyond clever wordplay or bragging rights. It quickly became one of the most personal and damaging exchanges in modern rap history. Both artists hurled accusations designed to tarnish reputations, and Kendrick in particular used his tracks to portray Drake as someone living behind lies, secrets, and questionable behavior. His words forced fans and critics to question whether their favorite star was hiding a darker reality. Drake struck first in Family Matters, where he accused Lamar of domestic abuse against his longtime partner, Whitney Alford. He also took aim at Lamar's family by claiming that Lamar fathered a child with his manager Dave Free, not with Alford. These lines were shocking because they targeted Lamar's private life, not just his music. By making allegations of abuse and betrayal, Drake attempted to undercut Kendrick's credibility as a partner, father, and man of integrity. Kendrick responded with Meet the Grams, escalating the feud even further. In this track, he accused Drake of hiding a secret daughter and abandoning his children, echoing earlier controversies around the revelation of Drake's son, Adonis. He also painted Drake as a liar about his family ties and personal history, suggesting that the persona that fans see is a carefully constructed illusion. The accusations of being an absent father and manipulator cut deep, framing Drake as someone incapable of honesty even with his closest relationships.
Dear Adonis, I'm sorry that man is your father. Let me be honest.
Kendrick did not stop there. He broadened his attacks by alleging that Drake's OVO sound label knowingly signed sex offenders and enabled sexual misconduct. This claim attempted to stain Drake not just as an individual, but as a leader whose business empire was built on shady foundations. While the lyrics carried weight in the heat of the feud, no public legal case has verified these specific claims. What made this beef so impactful was the way that Lamar blurred the line between performance and personal revelation. By packaging accusations about secret children, abuse, and predatory behavior into hit songs, he forced the world to engage with them, regardless of their factual basis. Whether proven or not, these allegations reshaped the narrative around Drake and amplified doubts about the image he projects. Chapter 6: Shady History, Rumors, and What the Public Doesn't Know. Beyond Kendrick Lamar's direct accusations, several past incidents have fueled public suspicion around Drake's behavior. One of the most cited moments is a 2010 video where Drake kissed a 17-year-old girl on stage and then asked her age after the fact. The clip resurfaced during the feud, and Drake even referenced it in The Heart Part 6, seemingly trying to brush it off as harmless. His well-documented friendship with actress Millie Bobby Brown has also raised eyebrows. She admitted to exchanging texts with Drake when she was still a teenager, sparking debates about whether their relationship crossed professional boundaries. Although Drake has consistently denied any inappropriate behavior, these interactions keep rumors alive. What complicates the picture is the absence of concrete proof. To date, no court judgments or criminal charges have confirmed allegations of grooming, pedophilia, or trafficking. Much of what circulates comes from rap lyrics, media speculation, and social media debates rather than verified investigations. Claims of hidden children, sexual predator networks tied to OVO sound, or secret misconduct remain accusations without supporting evidence. The lack of confirmation does not erase public suspicion, but it underscores how much of Drake's darker reputation is built on unverified stories rather than established fact. Chapter 7: Drake the Innovator, Genius or Copycat? Drake's approach to music has fundamentally reshaped the sound of modern hip-hop. One of his most significant contributions is his seamless blending of rapping and singing, creating a hybrid style that allows for emotional vulnerability without compromising rhythmic flow. Prior to Drake, mainstream rap largely adhered to rigid distinctions between rap and R&B, with few artists willing to integrate melodic expression consistently. Drake's early mixtapes already demonstrated this, but it was with So Far Gone and Take Care that the style became widely recognized. Songs like Marvin's Room and Take Care reveal an emotional depth uncommon in contemporary hip-hop, focusing on introspection, heartbreak, and personal conflict, delivered over sparse yet atmospheric production. This combination of melody and rap has influenced countless artists in the 2010s and beyond, establishing a template for future generations. Beyond melody, Drake incorporated dancehall and Caribbean influences into mainstream hip-hop. Tracks like Controlla, One Dance, and Nice for What showcase rhythmic patterns, syncopated percussion, and patois-inflected vocals that were traditionally niche outside of Caribbean music circles. By bringing these elements into international pop charts, Drake not only popularized new sounds, but also made global music accessible to a broader audience. His experimentation with Afrobeat, trap, and pop further demonstrates his versatility and willingness to merge genre in ways that feel authentic rather than forced. Drake's musical innovations lie not only in the sounds themselves, but in his understanding of audience psychology, blending emotional resonance with mass appeal. By integrating multiple genres, experimenting with melody, and emphasizing vulnerability, he has expanded the boundaries of what mainstream hip-hop can express. His influence is evident in the countless artists who now incorporate singing, rap hybrids, and global rhythms as standard elements in contemporary rap and pop music. Now, while Drake is often celebrated as a musical innovator, many of the styles that he popularized existed long before his mainstream emergence. His melodic rapping can be traced back to artists such as Lauryn Hill, whose integration of rap and singing on The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill blended introspection with melody. Kanye West and Aaliyah similarly experimented with emotive delivery over atmospheric production, laying the groundwork for what would later define Drake's signature sound. Even his incorporation of dancehall and Caribbean rhythms had roots in Toronto's local hip-hop scene and the broader global music landscape, with figures like Cardinal Official, Sean Paul, and Shabba Ranks pioneering these sounds long before Drake's chart dominance. The genius in Drake's work is not necessarily the invention of these styles, but the ability to synthesize them in ways that resonate on a global scale. His collaboration with producers like Noah, 40 Shabib, Boy Wonder, and 1985 helped craft the ambient, moody textures associated with his music, emphasizing sparse instrumentation, layered vocals, and a sense of intimacy that amplified the emotional impact. By curating existing musical elements and presenting them to a mainstream audience, Drake transformed regional or niche sounds into global phenomena. His skill lies in combining personal narrative, melodic fluidity, and cross-genre experimentation to create music that feels both authentic and universally appealing. While he may not have originated every element that he popularized, his execution, consistency, and cultural timing demonstrate artistic intelligence and a deep understanding of audience engagement, elevating him from imitator to a tastemaker capable of defining trends within contemporary music. Despite his acclaim, Drake has faced persistent accusations of trend hopping and copying other artists. Critics argue that he often adopts popular sounds, genres, and flows only after they have gained traction, framing his work as commercially strategic rather than creatively original. For instance, his use of Afrobeat rhythms in tracks like One Dance coincided with the global rise of artists such as Wizkid and Burna Boy, prompting accusations that he capitalized on a movement already flourishing in African and diaspora markets. Similar critiques have been leveled at his dancehall-inspired tracks, which some argue were reactive to the commercial success of Caribbean artists rather than innovative reinterpretations. Critics also highlight melodic flows and emotional delivery as points of imitation, comparing his singing rap hybrids to earlier work by artists such as Kid Cudi, The Weeknd, and even Jay-Z in experimental phases. Social media and music forums have amplified these debates, often presenting Drake as a calculated adopter of trends designed to maximize chart performance. These criticisms raise questions about the balance between commercial strategy and artistic integrity. While trend adoption is a common practice in contemporary music, Drake's frequency of stylistic shifts and genre integration magnifies scrutiny. However, trend hopping does not inherently diminish his impact. Drake's ability to identify, adapt, and popularize sounds on a global scale demonstrates musical intelligence, marketing acumen, and cultural sensitivity. Even if some elements are not originally his, the careful synthesis, mass appeal, and emotional resonance of his music shows skillful reinterpretation rather than simple replication, challenging the perception that trend adoption equals lack of creativity. Drake's influence extends far beyond the perception of trend adoption. Emerging artists frequently cite him as a template for blending emotional honesty with melodic experimentation. His approach to vulnerability in hip-hop reshaped audience expectations, encouraging rappers to embrace introspection without sacrificing commercial viability. Artists such as Travis Scott, Post Malone, and Juice WRLD have adopted elements of his singing rap hybrid and atmospheric production style, illustrating the pervasive impact of his musical decisions. Simultaneously, the music industry played a crucial role in shaping Drake's evolution. Strategic collaborations with producers, targeted marketing, and support from influential labels amplified his innovations, allowing them to reach audiences faster than independent artists might achieve. This synergy between talent and industry machinery enabled Drake to establish trends while also benefiting from timing and platform resources. While critics often focus on his copying tendencies, the broader truth is that Drake functions as both innovator and amplifier. He identifies existing musical currents, refines them through high-level production and narrative storytelling, and projects them into mainstream consciousness. This duality highlights his artistry and strategic intelligence, demonstrating that influence is often reciprocal. Drake both absorbs from the musical ecosystem and shapes it, proving that genius can coexist with adaptation. His career exemplifies the dynamic interplay between personal creativity, cultural observation, and the structural forces of the music industry, solidifying his role as one of the most impactful figures in contemporary music. Chapter 8. The Business Side. Mogul or Manufactured Image. Drake's business acumen is exemplified by his ventures outside of music production. OVO Sound, the label that he co-founded in 2012 with producer Noah 40 Shabib, has become a hub for emerging talent and a symbol of his influence within the industry. Artists such as Party Next Door, Majid Jordan, and Roy Woods gain visibility through OVO Sound, which balances artist development with Drake's own branding. His label, however, has also been accused of pretty much being a sweatshop.
So McConan had a problem. Y'all remember McConan, right? The guy who sings Club Going Up. But anyway, McConan had a problem. He comes out with a song called Tuesday that was blowing up in the underground. Now, the person who produced the song, his name was Sonny Digital. He was pretty famous. McConan, not that famous. Sonny Digital gets a phone call from somebody named Drake. Drake tells him, hey, let me get on the song Tuesday. Now, I don't know if you know much about the music industry, but this is not something you do. This is kind of like if you had a coworker call your boss to tell you to cover their shift. Your boss would be like, why don't you ask yourself? And that's exactly what Sonny did. He says, why don't you ask McConan yourself? You know what? Don't even worry about it. I'll ask him for you. So he asked McConan, hey, you want Drake to get on your song? McConan goes, of course, I'm an unknown artist. Drake, tell him to get on my song. So Drake gets on the song. The song becomes a huge hit and everybody lives happily ever after. Psych, stupid. Here's where things start to get wicked. Now, McConan gets 2 deals. He gets a deal offer from Drake saying, hey, why don't you come sign to me? And he gets another offer from somebody else. Now, I need you to start listening right now. Drake's offer is every song that you've ever created, you need to take down. He had like 10 albums at this point. And also, you don't have to pay for the feature that I just gave you, meaning that the opposite is true. If you don't sign to me, you have to pay for the feature that I gave you, even though I asked to be on your song. And if you can't pay for a Drake feature price, which is a lot of money that he definitely doesn't have, then you need to take the song down. The song that's basically making your career go up at this point. The other deal was a standard deal that basically let him keep all of his songs. His manager told him, take the standard deal. Taking the Drake deal is idiotic. He took the Drake deal. Drake said, welcome to OVO. McConan said, thank you so much. Drake said, I hate you with all my heart. McConan said, Drake says, look at Twitter. McConan looks at Twitter. All of his old tweets about him dissing Drake, talking crazy about Drake. resurface. Now, if y'all know anything about Drake, he takes things very, very personally. But come on, he just signed a new artist. Hey, they smooth things over. It's all good. Drake invites him to the studio. McConan goes over to the studio with his manager. Everything cool. And then McConan's boyfriend walks in. McConan's manager looks like, why did you invite him? McConan goes, he cool, he gonna be fine. McConan's manager looks at his boyfriend and says, don't say anything that's gonna be weird. McConan's boyfriend goes, you know I'm cool, I'm cool. Wow, Drake, your place looks super nice. Wow, we finally made it, McConan. Look at us, we did it. We're in Drake's. Drake go. Manager go. McConan go. Drake said.
Beyond the label, Drake has secured endorsements with major brands like Nike, Sprite, and Apple Music, leveraging his public persona to generate revenue streams independent of music sales. His collaboration with Apple Music, in particular, exemplifies strategic foresight, as he timed exclusive releases and curated playlists in order to maximize streaming exposure and global reach. Drake's understanding of streaming platforms extends to the timing, placement, and content of releases. Mixtapes, surprise drops, and collaborations are often coordinated to optimize chart performance and algorithmic visibility. By embracing streaming data and audience behavior, he has consistently positioned himself at the top of global music charts. His approach demonstrates a sophisticated grasp of how modern audiences consume music, and how digital metrics can amplify both commercial success and cultural relevance. These initiatives collectively illustrate a carefully constructed ecosystem where artistry and business strategy reinforce one another, reinforcing Drake's image as both a creative force and a savvy industry player. Drake's sustained dominance raises the question of whether it stems more from raw talent or calculated business strategy. His vocal versatility, lyrical ability, and melodic intuition undoubtedly contribute to his success, but the precision of his release strategy suggests equal influence from market manipulation. By coordinating singles, albums, and collaborations in alignment with streaming trends and chart mechanics, Drake maximizes both exposure and revenue. The fusion of talent and strategic planning is evident in how he navigates genres and audiences. Hip-hop, pop, dancehall, and R&B elements are incorporated to appeal to multiple demographics simultaneously. Surprise releases, strategic collaborations, and data-driven song selection further illustrate how business insight amplifies his creative output. Even award nominations and timing of major releases often align with industry cycles, enhancing visibility and influence. Now, while the critics argue that such methods prioritize commercial gain over artistry, the synthesis of skill and strategic intelligence has redefined what it means to dominate in the streaming era. Drake's ability to create music that resonates emotionally while simultaneously orchestrating its commercial trajectory demonstrates a mastery of both art and commerce, confirming that his success is not solely a product of talent or manipulation, but a deliberate combination of both. Detractors often critique Drake's dominance as a product of streaming-era strategies rather than pure musical merit. Some argue that his frequent release of multiple tracks, collaborations, and album versions inflate streaming numbers artificially, giving the impression of chart ubiquity that may not fully reflect listener engagement. Techniques such as bundling merchandise with album sales and releasing deluxe editions with bonus tracks have sparked debate over whether chart performance accurately represents popularity or if it's manipulated by business mechanisms. Critics also highlight his ability to saturate streaming platforms, dominating playlists and algorithmic recommendations in order to maintain top-of-mind awareness. This saturation can obscure smaller artists and create a perception of omnipresence that may exaggerate influence. Observers argue that while Drake's talent is undeniable, the orchestration of releases, data-driven marketing, and strategic collaborations are central to sustaining his commercial dominance. These critiques reflect broader tensions in the music industry, where streaming has shifted power dynamics, allowing artists with resources and strategic insight to shape metrics and public perception. In Drake's case, the line between genius and manipulation is often debated, as his success appears equally reliant on artistic ability and mastery of modern business practices. Despite critiques, Drake's business acumen and global influence are indisputable. OVO's sound continues to nurture talent, producing both critically acclaimed and commercially successful releases. His endorsement deals generate substantial revenue while reinforcing his brand as a cultural icon. Drake's awareness of digital platforms and streaming behavior ensures that his music reaches diverse audiences worldwide, making him a model for modern artist entrepreneurship.
Drake has already put out 2 diss tracks.
Pip squeak, pipe down, you ain't in no big threes.
Kendrick Lamar finally dropped his diss track against Drake.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk.
As Drake's beef with Kendrick Lamar started ramping up, some people started digging into the Toronto rapper's companies. And it turns out, he's got a lot of them. Tweets that got hundreds of thousands of views pointed out Drake owns at least 20 companies. But what does that mean, and does it actually point to anything unusual? I looked closer into this and got access to some of the records that this all stems from. The US documents show he actually has or had at least 52 incorporated entities, listing Aubrey D. Graham, his legal name, in senior positions like director, manager, and CEO.
In the US, the second that you say, oh, let's start this business, the first thing you would do is create an LLC. It protects you from liability.
Let's break this down.
Hey, I'm Rue. I'm an addict.
There are 9 companies using the name Dream Crew, Drake's well-known media company making HBO's Euphoria, and 18 that feature his initials. Another 4 shows, Away From Home, a reference to a song, and 2 that reference owls, Drake's trademark symbol for his company October's Very Own, known as OVO. Owl Creative Holdings, and a company with the name Strix, which in mythology is an owl that eats humans. One is even called Silence Policy.
Drake's influence extends far beyond financial metrics. He has shaped industry trends, normalized cross-genre experimentation, and expanded the scope of what mainstream hip-hop can encompass. His strategic collaborations, curated releases, and global branding initiatives demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of the interplay between art, audience psychology, and commerce. While critics emphasize chart manipulation, the consistent quality of his output, longevity in the industry, and ability to shape music culture all highlight that his achievements are not purely manufactured. In balancing creative innovation with strategic business insight, Drake exemplifies the modern mogul artist archetype. His career proves that artistry and entrepreneurship are no longer mutually exclusive, and that sustained dominance in the digital age requires both talent and the savvy application of industry knowledge. His model has influenced a generation of artists seeking to navigate the complex intersection of music, commerce, and global culture. Chapter 9: Personal Life and Public Persona. Real or curated? Drake's personal life has always been a focal point of public fascination, but it is carefully curated to balance relatability with privacy. His high-profile relationships with celebrities like Rihanna, Jennifer Lopez, and later Sophie Brousseau have often dominated media coverage, creating a narrative in which his romantic life intersects with his artistic output. Many of his songs draw directly from these relationships, blurring the line between personal experience and performative storytelling. The revelation of his son, Adonis, further complicated his public persona, introducing themes of fatherhood and responsibility that were previously invisible to fans. Drake's handling of fatherhood demonstrates his ability to selectively reveal aspects of his private life in a way that adds emotional depth to his narrative without overexposing himself. Social media posts, interviews, and visual content often emphasize success, collaboration, and lifestyle milestones, while downplaying the intimate or challenging moments. This selective exposure reinforces the idea that Drake's persona is both accessible and aspirational. By weaving elements of his real-life relationships and experiences into his music and public appearances, he cultivates an image that feels emotionally authentic to fans, even if it is highly managed. The balance between personal disclosure and strategic omission allows Drake to remain culturally relevant and emotionally resonant, offering glimpses into his humanity while retaining control over his private life. Understanding this curated approach is essential to analyzing Drake's public identity, as it demonstrates his skill in maintaining visibility and influence without compromising personal boundaries or privacy. Now, critics argue that Drake's public persona is heavily managed, with social media acting as a tool for narrative control rather than organic self-expression. His Instagram, Twitter, and other platforms rarely provide unfiltered glimpses into his personal life, instead highlighting achievements, collaborations, curated lifestyle imagery, and moments of emotional storytelling that are designed to reinforce his public image. PR teams carefully coordinate timing, content, and messaging, ensuring that every post, appearance, or interaction aligns with his brand as both a relatable and aspirational figure. Even seemingly spontaneous social media moments, from casual interactions to humorous commentary, are often interpreted as part of a larger strategy to maintain cultural relevance and fan engagement. Analysts point out that this controlled exposure allows Drake to remain omnipresent in public discourse without risking overexposure or vulnerability. Feuds, award appearances, exclusive releases, and music videos are all strategically timed to generate maximum attention while shaping perception of both his personal and artistic identity. Some critics argue that this is because he has friends in high places. And by some critics, I mean Kanye.
Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucien and Universal.
Wow.
It's like, like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucien.
So all of his streams in the number ones is controlled by someone named Lucien.
Well, Lucien worked for people who control the banks in Africa.
This perception is reinforced by the consistency and polish of his online presence, which rarely reveals mistakes, failures, or private struggles. In an era dominated by digital media, such strategic management has become essential for high-profile artists. And in Drake's case, it serves both to protect personal boundaries and to maintain his dominant position in popular culture. Despite criticism, Drake has consistently shielded much of his personal life from public scrutiny, preserving a human side that is rarely visible outside of music. While fans do witness select milestones, such as romantic relationships or fatherhood, the majority of his private experiences remain carefully protected, demonstrating a deliberate effort to balance public persona with personal boundaries. In an era where celebrity overexposure is common, Drake's restraint allows him to maintain artistic focus and mental well-being, emphasizing that emotional authenticity in music does not require complete public transparency. His music provides a controlled window into personal experiences, offering intimacy and relatability without fully revealing private struggles. The vulnerability expressed in tracks such as Marvin's Room and Emotionless suggests depth and human complexity while maintaining privacy regarding his daily life. This approach ensures that fans feel emotionally connected without undermining his personal space, a challenge that many modern artists fail to navigate. Drake's discretion extends to family, childhood experiences, and fatherhood, which are mentioned selectively, often only when they support artistic storytelling or narrative arcs in his music. By combining musical expression with a careful curation of personal exposure, Drake demonstrates a mastery of managing a public persona while preserving private life. This balance underscores a broader understanding that celebrity influence can coexist with personal protection, enabling him to remain both culturally relevant and psychologically safeguarded in an industry that constantly demands visibility. Drake's upbringing in Toronto profoundly shaped both his personal development and public persona, influencing his artistic voice, worldview, and approach to fame. Raised by a single mother in a multicultural urban environment, he experienced a combination of privilege and social challenges that informed his lyrical narratives and his emotional depth. Early exposure to diverse cultures and musical styles, from hip-hop to R&B and Caribbean rhythms, all allowed him to cultivate a rich, hybridized sound that would later define his career. His teenage years included attending Forest Hill Collegiate Institute and acting on Degrassi, The Next Generation, where he learned to navigate public attention, performance pressures, and interpersonal dynamics. These formative experiences provided early lessons in balancing public exposure with personal boundaries, skills that continue to influence how he manages his image today. Drake's early struggles, including navigating identity, ambition, and artistic development within a predominantly American music industry, helped him develop resilience, adaptability, and strategic thinking. Canadian multiculturalism and Toronto's underground music scene all exposed him to global influences that enriched his creative palette and informed his selective approach to public life. Understanding these elements of Drake's early life clarifies why he maintains a curated public persona, while successfully connecting with fans on an emotional level. His Canadian upbringing, early career challenges, and exposure to both privilege and adversity all contributed to a careful balance between private life and public image, shaping the human, creative, and strategic aspects of the figure that fans engage with today. Chapter 10. Fan base and cultural impact. Devoted or delusional? Drake's global fan base is among the largest in modern music history, spanning continents and demographic groups. His appeal crosses cultural and generational boundaries, with millions of listeners engaging with his music on streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. Songs such as God's Plan, In My Feelings, and One Dance have amassed billions of streams, reflecting both the breadth and intensity of his audience. Social media plays a crucial role in maintaining this connection, with fans participating in trends, challenges, and viral campaigns all tied to his music. His Instagram and Twitter accounts, while curated, act as hubs for engagement, where fans dissect lyrics, speculate on collaborations, and share reactions in real time. This massive following amplifies his cultural relevance, allowing Drake to influence not only music charts, but also fashion, slang, and popular culture. The global scale of his fandom ensures that every release receives immediate attention, with chart performance and streaming milestones often broken within hours. Fan engagement is magnified through digital platforms, where community-driven activity turns individual listening into collective phenomena. Memes, reaction videos, and social media campaigns sustain attention between releases, creating a continuous feedback loop that reinforces Drake's dominance. This interaction demonstrates the power of fan culture in the digital age, illustrating that an artist's impact is not limited to music alone, but extends into social, cultural, and economic influence worldwide. Drake's fan base also extends beyond casual listeners. Superfans engage in detailed analyses of lyrics, cultural references, and artistic choices, amplifying discussion across forums, podcasts, and fan communities. Their devotion transforms each release into a social event, generating coverage, media speculation, and viral moments that contribute to the perception of Drake not just as a musician, but as a global cultural force. Despite his undeniable success, Drake's fan base has been criticized for cult-like behavior that can exaggerate his artistic influence. Online communities often engage in hyperbolic praise, framing any perceived slight or criticism as an attack on the entire fan base. This behavior can distort public perception, creating an impression of universal acclaim that may overshadow critical discourse about artistic merit. Memes, viral debates, and social media campaigns sometimes elevate relatively minor achievements into cultural milestones, inflating narratives of dominance. Critics argue that the intensity of fan devotion can amplify weaknesses, with streaming numbers and chart performance partially reflecting coordinated activity rather than organic popularity. Fans often mobilize to influence award outcomes, playlist placements, or chart positions, further contributing to the perception of inflated influence.
I don't necessarily have the same stories as Wayne. Wayne can sit here and tell you, like, I'm a gangster, I can rap about that gangster life, I can't do that. I can only rap about, like, my Jewish mom and, like, the girls that I take on dates. And I'm proud of myself for that.
Moments later. I'ma drop this shit and have these pussies dropping like some motherfucking...
The emotional investment in Drake's persona also leads some to interpret marketing and social media strategies as authentic artistic breakthroughs, when in reality, they may be strategically planned. While devotion is common among successful artists, the scale and intensity of Drake's following is particularly notable, often blurring the line between admiration and fanaticism. Cult-like behavior among fans can also generate hostility toward critics or rival artists, creating online conflicts and amplifying controversy around Drake's career. In some cases, this reinforces the narrative that fan engagement contributes as much to his dominance as his music itself, raising questions about whether chart success and cultural influence are entirely merit-based or partially constructed by highly mobilized audiences. While fan obsession can sometimes exaggerate perception, Drake maintains a genuine emotional connection with his audience. His lyrics frequently explore themes of love, heartbreak, ambition, and vulnerability, resonating deeply with listeners across age, gender, and cultural lines. Tracks like Marvin's Room, Take Care, and Started from the Bottom reflect personal experiences and struggles that feel relatable, creating a sense of intimacy between artist and fan. This emotional resonance encourages engagement that extends beyond casual listening into deeper cultural participation, with fans analyzing lyrics, sharing personal stories, and connecting with Drake's narrative arcs. Drake's ability to communicate universal emotions through specific personal experiences makes his music feel authentic and human, even when presented through highly curated public channels. Fans respond not only to melodies and hooks, but also to the narratives embedded in the music, perceiving him as both a performer and a relatable individual navigating fame, relationships, and personal growth. The intimacy in his lyrics fosters loyalty, explaining why his fan base is so active, engaged, and enduring. Unlike superficial hype, this connection is reinforced through repeated exposure to themes that reflect real-life struggles and triumphs, creating a sustained cultural impact that extends far beyond viral marketing or streaming manipulation. Moreover, his versatility in blending hip-hop, R&B, dancehall, and pop enables him to reach multiple audiences simultaneously, ensuring that emotional resonance is matched by accessibility. Fans perceive Drake as a mirror of contemporary experiences, enhancing the authenticity of his cultural influence while validating the devotion that drives streaming success, social media virality, and global reach. Drake's massive and organized fan base has a tangible influence on awards, chart performance, and cultural visibility. In the streaming era, metrics such as plays, playlist placements, and social media engagement directly affect Billboard rankings, award nominations, and Spotify and Apple Music algorithms. Coordinated fan activity, from pre-saving albums to streaming in bursts, ensures that Drake maintains chart dominance and industry recognition, often outpacing other artists with similar talent. These efforts demonstrate how fan behavior can be as consequential to commercial success as the music itself, shaping both perception and measurable achievement. Awards such as the Grammys, BET, and American Music Awards are increasingly influenced by streaming data, social media presence, and online fan engagement, meaning that Drake's loyal supporters effectively participate in curating his industry recognition. Fan-driven campaigns, such as voting for album releases, promoting singles, or creating viral challenges, can alter outcomes that may appear purely merit-based. This dynamic illustrates the unprecedented power of digital-era fandom, where an artist's reach is amplified not only by personal talent, but also by active audience participation. Beyond charts and awards, fans contribute to cultural influence by creating memes, trending hashtags, and viral moments that perpetuate Drake's relevance between releases. Their collective activity extends beyond mere listening into shaping public discourse, reinforcing his status as a global cultural phenomenon. The interaction between fans, music platforms, and social media ensures that Drake's impact is both artistically and socially magnified, demonstrating the reciprocal relationship between talent, audience, and influence in shaping modern music culture. Chapter 11, The Legacy Debate. Hall of Fame or overrated? Drake's career is decorated with awards, reflecting both commercial success and industry recognition. He has won multiple Grammys, Billboard Music Awards, American Music Awards, and BET Awards, often breaking records for the most wins in several categories. His albums consistently debut at #1 on the Billboard 200, and he frequently dominates streaming platforms with billions of plays. Critics often praise his ability to blend introspective lyricism with accessible melodies, creating music that resonates across audiences and demographics. Now, beyond accolades, Drake's cultural imprint is undeniable. He popularized the singing rap hybrid, incorporated Caribbean and global influences into mainstream hip-hop, and contributed to shaping social media-driven fan engagement. Tracks like Hotline Bling, God's Plan, and In My Feelings transcended music charts to spark viral moments, challenges, and memes, demonstrating a broad cultural reach. Drake's influence extends into fashion, branding, and global youth culture, positioning him as a defining figure in contemporary music and popular culture. His ability to navigate both emotional expression and mass appeal allows him to maintain relevance across multiple eras of modern hip-hop, solidifying a legacy that goes beyond simple sales or awards. Now, despite these accolades, critics argue that Drake is overhyped and lacks the grit that is traditionally associated with classic rap culture. Some contend that his frequent exploration of vulnerability, emotional introspection, and melodic delivery makes his music less aligned with the hard-edged persona that is celebrated in earlier hip-hop. Detractors point to his collaborations with pop and R&B artists as evidence of trend following rather than pioneering artistry, framing him as a commercial product of the modern music industry rather than a purely organic talent. Some critics also claim that his massive streaming numbers and chart dominance inflate public perception of his influence, suggesting that fan mobilization and marketing strategies amplify success beyond what musical quality alone would justify. This perspective positions Drake as a figure who benefits from digital-era mechanics and media saturation more than from raw artistic credibility, highlighting tension between traditional hip-hop values and contemporary commercial practices. Defenders emphasize Drake's versatility, innovation, and ability to consistently deliver chart-topping music across genres. He has demonstrated mastery of rap, R&B, dancehall, Afrobeat, and pop, often blending styles in ways that feel natural and emotionally resonant. His melodic rap innovations, introspective lyricism, and global collaborations have influenced a generation of artists, setting trends rather than following them. And beyond style, his record-breaking achievements provide measurable proof of his impact. Multiple #1 albums, hundreds of Billboard Hot 100 entries, and numerous streaming milestones. His influence extends to both established and emerging artists who cite him as inspiration for genre-blending approaches and emotional vulnerability in music. Critics who dismiss Drake as quote-unquote soft overlook the strategic intelligence that is required to maintain relevance across diverse audiences, cultural shifts, and global music markets. His ability to innovate while appealing to mass audiences reinforces the argument that he is a significant figure whose contributions warrant recognition in the hip-hop canon. Now, beyond mainstream recognition, Drake holds numerous lesser-known records and has cultivated a vast network of influential collaborations that further cement his legacy. He frequently breaks streaming milestones, sometimes achieving feats that remain underreported compared to viral singles. His collaborations with artists from Nigeria, Jamaica, and the UK showcase his global reach, introducing international rhythms to mainstream audiences and expanding the cultural scope of contemporary hip-hop. Behind the scenes, he has helped launch and mentor artists under OVO Sound, extending his influence beyond personal output into shaping industry trends and careers. While awards and chart statistics capture only part of his impact, these lesser-known contributions reveal a broader legacy. Drake as a connector, trendsetter, and cultural force whose reach extends far beyond North America. His sustained relevance, global influence, and innovative approach to music production and artist development all demonstrate that, regardless of critics' opinions, his presence in the Hall of Fame discussion is substantiated by both measurable achievements and enduring cultural significance. Drake's journey is a fascinating blend of raw talent, calculated strategy, and hidden truths that most fans never fully see. From his early mixtapes to global chart dominance, his career reflects both artistic innovation and the savvy manipulation of industry mechanisms. He has shaped music trends, influenced countless artists, and cultivated a fan base that amplifies his presence worldwide. Yet, behind the public persona lies a carefully curated image, selective glimpses into his personal life, and lesser-known contributions that reveal the complexity of his legacy. Understanding Drake means recognizing the tension between genius and design, emotion and marketing, authenticity and strategy. So, what do you think? Is Drake the unchallenged king of modern rap? Or is he the music industry's perfectly engineered product? Let us know. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Next, we'll uncover another artist you think you know, but don't.